live with the Metacars AMA. We have Adam, a wonderful friend of the Haven, graciously representing the team. Adam, take it away.
All right, Achilles and Safe Haven friends. So happy to be here. Let's make this happen today. I am representing as a voice chat partner for Metacars on the Ethereum chain. Yes, this is an Ethereum-based project. Let that sink in. We are not on the Binance Smart Chain today. We are on Ethereum, or at least for this AMA. So with that being said, kind of gear your mindset in that way. I keep saying these puns, they're unintentional. It's just my dad humor, but it's at play. So yes, gear up for this, because know when we're talking about hard caps, when we're talking about soft caps, when we're talking about market cap, you want to keep that in mind that we are on the Ethereum chain, not the Binance Smart Chain, and this is very much so a NFT based project with utility. So if it sounds good to you, Achilles, I'll talk about, we'll cover me. I don't want to waste any time, but I'll cover the team and then go into maybe some stuff on the project high level.
I would love it.
All right, well, let me go ahead and do this then. I'm going to share screen, and there's a nice little portion of the site here that shows the team. So team of four, at least right now. There's the CEO and founder, Alan, Matthew, who I'm mainly in communication with right now from the marketing community team. Doc Fix, he is the dev and game designer. And then Jesse, the awesome artist that created all these NFTs and is overseeing the integration of the NFTs into the metaverse game that they want to bring to market. So let's start with Alan. A little bit of him. You can read that, but what I'll just say is that he's always had a passion for gaming, for movies. These kind of two things are converging in this project, and that's really why he came together with this team that he's been working with in the past. About 3-4 years worth of crypto experience he's had with this team, and he said, you know what is more memorable than the movie Cars? Everybody loves Cars, right? So both in real life and also the movie. It's an amazing movie. So why don't we take heavy inspiration from that, make it into our own via these NFTs, and then when we launch our full game and when we launch our V2 of our website, our entire branding is going to be focused on this new Metacars art style and gameplay. So I mentioned that before I get into the rest of the team. I mentioned that because if you peek through here, it's very blatant, and I just like to be very upfront. I mean, this is Disney IP stuff. This Disney IP, Disney owns all that. Even at the car, might as well have a mouse. It's Disney IP. So with that being said, I did want to make mention that, like, if they got a cease and desist today, they are ready to be able to integrate V2, but they'd rather have a little bit more time so that way they can actually get some artwork from the actual game. They can have stuff to be able to throw in as far as, throughout the website to kind of show. Metacars as a name, all of their NFTs have been green-lighted by a lawyer. They made sure, hey, this is our direction, this is where we want to go, and we want to implement these characters into the actual game. We know they're inspired, but are they different enough because of the customizations and such to be able to have this be something viable? They said, yep, it's good. In its current incantation, no, in the sense of the website. But as long as your website doesn't have Lightning McQueen in it, racing around with Mater, you're fine. So they said, sounds good. We are going to release that V2 shortly after we actually have the game, probably a couple weeks to a month. But the game itself is going to be 100% focused on these custom NFTs, which there is a Genesis set of 5,000 of them, all custom hats, lights, stickers, wheels, everything will be custom. That's cool. Different rarities, legendary, through common, through medium rarity, but outside of the collectability, they're going to have different levels of influence within the game. So legendary is going to have a little bit more of an edge than a common, and a common is going to have a little bit more of an edge than a default car that you could get in with just $50 worth of Metacars token. So with that being said, I just wanted to get into the CEO and kind of his vision first. Going into Matthew, really cool dude. He's actually the guy that I had a KYC chat with prior. Not only, by the way, did they KYC with Pink Sale, of course, They just had their solid proof KYC just clear. He actually just sent me the link to that, and they're going to be updating the site with that information shortly. So they have KYCs there. I always like to, whenever possible, KYC the projects myself in the sense of, who are you? Are you who you say you are? Show me a picture of yourself, just so that way, if anything were to go astray, we don't have to necessarily rely on solid proof or pink sale, which we could easily pull from as well, especially pink sale. But I have my own. So push comes to shove, it's always protecting investors as my prime directive. So, if we need to, we need to. Hopefully we don't. I haven't had to yet, and I don't plan to. But if I need to, I have that tool to use. But that being said, he is the community and marketing manager. Really, really nice guy. Tons of experience in the gaming sector, and that's really where he's done most of his career. And he's also had quite a bit of crypto experience last couple of years. Doc Fix, this guy has the most experience out of anything that's relevant in the project. What I mean by that is he has 20 years of game development experience, recently switched his focus to Web3, so is new to crypto, but he's had 20 years of game and web development experience, which is really going to lend itself to a very playable platform. Now, Jesse, he also is what made all of these nice little NFTs come to life. He is the artist with 11 years of experience in crypto and also has been featured in music videos and TV shows and films, not him himself or his car, but his artwork. So that's quite cool. What these NFTs actually look like, if we scroll up just a smidge here, there we go. This is kind of like a rotating carousel of some of the different examples of what these would look like. Again, there's 5,000 of these, a little over 5,000 each, with unique characteristics that are going to be coming to life inside of their metaverse world, that you're going to be able to race against other cars and be able to experience this in live time. So that is kind of what they're wanting to bring to this space at a very, very high level, and the Metacars token makes that come to life. So I'll stop there because I will ramble and ramble. So please, Achilles, if there's anything you want me to clarify or go into, specifically maybe tokenomics or so, I'd love to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely want to hear more about the mechanics of the coin and the game, but so it looks like there's been a lot of work done on this already, and we're just coming up on the launch here. How did you guys how did the team raise the funds to do this?
Yeah, that's a good question. So a lot of it is coming out of pocket, first and foremost. If you actually look at the vesting, the first 30 days, the team tokens and marketing are locked. Or sorry, the team tokens are locked. After that, it unlocks. Marketing is unlocked a little over 2%, so they are dipping into that. A little transparency for everyone here. Whenever you see marketing wallets, just expect that the team is taking a little bit of payment out of that. Sometimes it might be a lot, sometimes it might be a little. These guys won't need to necessarily pull too much from it, because if you actually look at the distribution of raise, what's happening is liquidity, they're pulling 60% of raise from, and then the 40% that's left over, they're putting into marketing. So they're really going to be paying themselves back from that first unlocked piece of that marketing wallet, which is a little over 2%. That's where they're going to be paying themselves back, especially when it comes to the metaverse development and when it comes to the NFT art. Of course, they went out of pocket to already pay, for the startup, but for continuation and debugs and all that stuff, it costs money. So to answer your question, they went out of pocket, but they definitely are going to be paying themselves back little by little, starting with, kind of starting at the beginning.
No, that's fair. Okay. All right, so 200 Ethereum, that means they're raising 80 ETH for marketing. What is the plan to get the name out there? And then I'd like to talk more about the game, and then we can move on to economics and everything.
Definitely. So as far as marketing, man, they have their own marketing manager, right? Matthew's awesome. He really takes the ball forward in this period, but also especially forward. But they actually reached out. How they got in contact with me was they reached out to my partner, Karan, very, very well known in the pink sale community and beyond. And they said, hey, how do we create a marketing package that gets the word out like just on blast? So he has different levels of marketing packages he does. They went with close to the maximum one, which includes just a barrage of very, very well received call channels, AMA groups like this, stuff that actually works versus just channels or whatever that might be a little cheaper, but they don't have the same effect. Because really that effect is a measure of how many real people do you have. how many of those people that are listening really believe in their host and believe in the projects that are brought to them, and then what is the output, right? So of course it's dependent upon the project. You can have an amazing channel, but if you don't have a good product with utility, why would anyone invest? So that has to be there first, which I'm happy to say they're definitely bringing to the table. But more than that, it has good utility, but you got to market it. So they are going all out. We're talking banners, influencers, AMA groups. They even want to get some YouTubers involved. When it comes to the real world, after launch, they're actually going to be introducing a few months down the road actual car meets. So eventually I'd like to do a car meet with you, Achilles, but what this is, in this sense, these car meets are going to be virtual car meets, but also in-person ones where you show your wallet and, or the NFT, I should say, you get access, and then now you're in like a top 20 club. So in the sense of they're going to take the top 20 holders of Metacar token and those that also own NFTs, and you're going to be able to get access to exclusive events from all around the world. They're going to fly you out, all expense paid, hotel, flight, everything. They're going to have like a party there with food, exclusive prizes, merch, the whole thing. They're going to live stream the heck out of it, and then they're going to showcase that to everyone. One other thing, too, is they're going to be doing, this is also part of the marketing, is extending that real-world marketing piece to also include charity, which I thought was really cool. So they're going to be looking to actually raise money, and which they don't really need to raise money. They can just take it from the marketing funds, but be able to like actually give away like a low cost car, like maybe $1,000 car, $10,000 car, whatever. That can make someone's life. That could absolutely make someone's life. I think of my first car was a couple $1,000, and that car did everything for me, and it was the best little Ford Focus hatchback that made it so I could actually live my life, go and hang out with friends, go to work, more importantly. And there's a lot of people that don't have that opportunity. So when you can give it to them and they don't expect it, and then put branding on some, put branding on that event through Metacars, it builds awareness, but it's also helping somebody out. So I thought that was real cool. So that's something they want to do. They also want to do some fun stuff for actual holders. So part of those events is within those car meets, they're also going to be raffling off opportunities to get their cars pimped out, which is really cool. If we remember that show, Pimp My Ride, think that, but kind of Metacar My Ride in a way. So how they're going to be doing that is basically with the user's permission, right? With the holder's permission, they can exchange it for cash value instead if they choose, but they can have their car tricked out, however they want, basically within limits, of course. New stereo systems, different paint job, custom this, custom that, kind of like the show, maybe not to that level, but that sort of theme. So you'll probably see a lot of people upgrade their sound system, maybe put some screens in there, a PS5, so they can have folks in the back seats, friends or whatever, be gaming, like just stuff like that. I don't know what you would do to a Tesla. I don't really want to change much. Maybe some ventilated seats. That's all I could ask for. But
yeah.
Oh god, dude, it'd be so nice. But besides that, we're just gonna talk about Tesla all day. Besides that, that's kind of going to be the focus of how they're going to get the word out outside of just the traditional crypto means. I always like to see that, and I like to pull that out of the team, because like Times Square banner ads and whatever are cool, but let's be real, who looks at those? Nobody cares about that shit.
I know, it's kind of funny, actually. Yeah.
Nobody cares about what a Gecko Inu Mino token or whatever, right? I hope that's not actually a token, because then I feel bad. But I don't think it is. It will be in 10 minutes. Yeah. But anyways, like nobody cares about those banner ads, because no one actually knows what to do with that. What do I do with a banner that I see in Times Square that has some animal on it that I don't even understand what that means? Like no. But there's so much positive, like goodwill, but also advertising that you can do when you're actually doing something, when you're having fun car meets, when you're giving away stuff, when you're pimping people's rides that are holders. That can blow up in itself. But especially when you're consistent with charity, when you're giving away things, when there's proper branding, everything's cohesive, you can do some really cool stuff. So I'm happy to see that that's definitely a focus for them, is, again, not just the banners, the stuff that lets you get jump started and helps you hit the soft caps. It's not just that. That is great, and that's what's needed to jumpstart everything. By the way, the marketing doesn't guarantee it. It's also dependent upon market conditions. It's dependent on me being able to speak to the project properly. Even then, there's so many variables, but it helps. It helps. So that was a long form answer to what are they doing as far as marketing to get the word out.
No, that sounds good. Like, tell us exactly what word are they getting out. So what's the project about? Give us the P2E style, what the game is going to be, all that.
Yes. So at a high level, this is a play-to-earn metaverse game. It's integrating in the token, which is Metacars token, and an NFT series, which is those 5,000 NFTs. This is an Ethereum-based project, and it is a hyper-deflationary token. So a large majority are being burned right after launch. It does have a high supply. You can see there's about 100 billion tokens, but like I said, there's a large portion being burned right at launch. Outside of that, really the main focus, to distill it down to something simple for potential investors to understand, is own metaverse tokens, own Metacars tokens, be able to buy Metacars NFTs, and take those NFTs and actually race them in the metaverse to actually win prizes. So check this out. This is something that they really want to market and be known, is they're going to be doing weekly race tournaments. So we're talking like actual use of utility to earn every single week, with a raising of the actual prize pool by 10% every tournament. Now, they're going to have the tournaments, especially in the later ones, be a little bit longer and a little bit longer. But effectively $500 for the first ever tournament, and they're ready to go with these as soon as, like, I believe less than a week from now. So that's really cool, is they're not waiting till the full version of the game is ready to go. They're going to be doing this even in the alpha to really test out things. They're willing to put up $500 to make sure that they get this game tested fully in the actual user's hands instead of just the team, which they've been testing, a ton recently. So anyways, this is the big utility, is being able to race your NFTs, get a slight advantage in each and every race, but there's also going to be kind of like Mario Kart elements, in the sense that there's going to be like those random drops where you don't know what type of weapon you're going to pick up. In this case, it could be a rocket, it could be a mine, which acts like a banana that you can throw in front of you or behind you to trip somebody up. There's going to be different weapons that you can use in the game to get the advantage and to get that next position in front of somebody. So that's the cool thing, is yes, you can have an NFT and you can have a really rare one, and that'll help you. But there's an element of chance and an element of, technique that it takes. So you can have a basic car that's assigned to you that you only need $50 worth of the actual Metacars token, and you can still race. You can still have fun and you can still win big, but you're going to have a little bit better of a chance if you own a custom NFT, which is going to be $300 as the mint price, and then it goes up every mint. So that's really at a high level what it's all about. It's pretty straightforward. They wanted to keep it straightforward. That's how everything works and how the token actually interplays with it.
Okay, you said it goes up from top end mints.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that last piece. I think it cut off slightly. Sorry.
Oh, what is the peak of the minting? You said it goes up from 300.
So they're gonna kind of see because they want to first see what is the traction. If the first mint of $300 from that 5K series sells out like really quick, like the first 1,000 sell super quick, then they're going to say, okay, well, maybe we can double it, right? Or maybe we can triple it potentially. But they want to have it definitely be a substantial raise, so that way there's incentive for people to buy that next level, knowing that there's also going to be more exposure and more volume. So then it's going to continue to raise and raise and raise until you get to the last mint, and it's like, okay, well, by now the game's very established, and it still makes sense to own this NFT because I can instantly jump into races with that. There's also going to be holiday sets that they want to do as well, different kind of theme things, but always the Genesis set, that first series is always going to be worth the most. So anything they release after, it'll be worth something, of course, and it'll have utility and different things like that. But the Genesis set is always worth the most because it's what really proved the utility coming to life. So to answer your question, it's going to be $300 starting. They're going to kind of adjust from there, see how like successful it is in means of volume and people really getting interested, and then they're going to kind of adjust from there. But I could expect, a double, maybe triple, but probably double, I would say.
Okay. All right. What are the tokenomics of this project? What are the taxes?
Yeah, so it's a little complex. It is in the white paper here, but I also just have it written down. So I'll just kind of go through it, and then I'll try to find it in the white paper real quick. But it's complex in the sense that there's a different sell tax and there is a buy tax, which sounds kind of odd, but it sort of makes sense once we go through it. So the buy tax is 1%. Now, this is funny because where does that 1% go? It doesn't go to the team. It goes to the contract. The contract is actually named, funny enough. So this 1% goes to the Guido. And Guido is the little character from Cars that is part of the pit crew that repairs the cars. So it goes to him, or it goes to that part of the contract that's named after him, I should say. Now, that is audited, just like the entire contract by TechRate. Which is great. So what does the Guido do? What does this part of the contract do? Well, it is a buy-only mechanism that can be launched, or can be initiated, I should say, by the project at will. So essentially, all buy-sell tax goes to the Guido. 1% of each goes to him, or this part of the token contract, I should say. And then at any time, they can say, okay, well, there was maybe a little bit of sell pressure, or we want to really celebrate an event or whatever. They can launch it, and they can have that part of the contract buy back whatever amount of tokens they want. So they can say, okay, there is X amount of money here. Let's go ahead and buy back, maybe, I don't know, $2,000 worth of our token, or $10,000 worth of our token, dependent upon volume. So that's effectively what that little piece is doing for the buy part. The sell part, that's also included, but it's a much heavier sell tax of 12%. Now that 12%, it kind of breaks down to a 3% auto buyback. So if someone sells, they're instantly hit with a 3% auto buyback that's helping out the market, 4% marketing, 4% liquidity pool add, and then 1% to our friend, the Guido, which is part of the contract. So that's kind of how it's structured. It's a little complex because it's broken down different than what you would normally see. But what they're really hoping with this is that there's going to be a lot of influence towards the upside, in the sense that there's auto buybacks, which is great. But there's also money going towards marketing, which is going to help in the mid and long term. There's money being added to liquidity, so that way price impact isn't as high. And then you have that element of manual buyback if needed through their Guido mechanic.
Okay, so that's 1% in, 12% out. I mean, that's a relatively low tax coin in general. That's a 6.5% total. So as far as like sustainability is concerned, I mean, this is Ethereum. It's a different chain. It's more of a long-term thing. But with this taxes and the amount of, well, okay, you know what? Forgive me, Adam. Before I get there, how are the rewards paid out on the PDE system? That's a question I need to know before that.
Yes, good question. So the first thing I asked, branched off that, was Ethereum has crazy high tax fees. Like transaction fees are nuts. 30, 40 bucks. They used to be 100, 200, I remember, but at least they're a little better, but still too much money. So if you're going to run an entire game off of that, it's going to be a mess. It's not going to work. Don't even try, basically, right? So instead, what they're doing is they're running a nested game within their ecosystem. Everything's going to be paid in MC points, so Metacars points. Then you can cash out one-to-one to Metacars token on the Ethereum chain. So everything that happens within the game is not on the blockchain, and then when it actually comes to cashing out, it's verified, it is on the blockchain, and also the scoreboard is published every single week on the blockchain as well. So everything can be verified in that sense. Like people can see who won, why they won, for which week, and then people can also see, of course, the transactions going from the MC points converting over to Metacars tokens and back and forth.
Okay. Yeah, the gas fees are a little bit frightening on seeing this on ETH in that sense, but that doesn't sound like a bad move. All right, forgive me. Let me look at my notes. I had one question before
Sure.
this.
Oh, and while you're pulling that up, you asked me this too, and I skipped over it. I would love to go over the distribution as well. So yeah, let me cover that. So when it comes to distro of supply, we've got a total supply of 100 billion. Tokens for pre-sale, 32 bill. That's about 32%, right? 10% discount on pre-sale right now versus launch. So that's a discount you'd be getting into the pink sale, which is happening in 2 hours or 3 hours, a little less than 3 hours. Outside of that, the tokens earmarked for liquidity is about 30.45, 17.28%, which is about 17 or so billion tokens. And then burn tokens is almost 30%, about 30% of the total supply, which is going to be burned right at launch. There's also 18% that's locked for an entire month, and that is going to be unlocked after the month and used for exchange listings, and then also for marketing and post. Like I had said, also there's that sliver, that 2%. If you go on pink sale, you always want to look at these charts. This is unlocked. This is for the team and also for any little marketing that they need to fill in. But the majority of this is going to be to help out to pay for the development and team for out-of-pocket expenses already. The majority of the marketing funds, though, is going to come from here, from the remaining 40% of raise, whatever they're able to raise past the soft cap of 100 ETH. That would put the initial market cap at a little bit less than 1.1 million or so, which on the Binance Smart Chain would be nuts, right? But on the Ethereum chain, if it picks up steam, and especially if they're able to showcase the demo, which they're looking to do today, it's very, very reasonable, especially because NFTs are a big focus with this project as well around utility.
Well, also with your 17% going to liquidity, that means your ratio is going to be adjusted from about a 1 to 10 to about a 1 to 25. So it would go pretty exponential. Okay, that was my next question. And you actually just brought this up, the perfect timing. So they're burning 32 billion tokens at launch. A 32 billion token burn is going to mess up all of the allocations if the allocations are made for the full token supply. So I guess this is really like a tight developer question, but like I've seen this go wrong before. Has the developer actually worked out the math for the pre-sale allocations to account for the burn? Because otherwise he's going to be giving a much higher value as they're burning 33% of the supply.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I'm asking Matthew right now. He's typing, so thank goodness I have him as backup, because that is a little bit deeper question that I'm happy I'm able to get an answer for pretty quickly here. So I might need to circle back because he's probably going to consult. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, never mind. They're quick. Yeah, so it's already been calculated for, he's saying.
Okay, and with the amount of allocation to liquidity, like, we know it's going to be an inflated market cap, right?
I believe so. I think that's accounting for everything already. So he's saying to match the calculation. So he's saying that these calculations are already factoring in that, if I'm reading that correctly.
Okay. All right. What other questions do I have here? Honestly, with that amount of Ethereum, I don't care about bots. that's home bot right there. Not even going to lie about it. That's a difficult task. What else? We went over the token allocation, the tokenomics. You got a relative. Oh, is there a preview for the PTE yet?
Ooh, yeah. So it's going to be coming. They're hoping right before the pre-sale opens, if not within today. They had to work out a few bugs. There was actually something that completely crashed the game that they had to go and rework last minute. So it's one of those things that they're like really, really deeply testing this. And normally a game takes a while to develop, but this is crypto, so you got to be quick, but you got to make sure, especially if there's money involved, that it's developed properly. So to answer your question, not yet, but if this sounds interesting to everyone, I would definitely say stay tuned because they might surprise with something right before or immediately after. Because that was my question too. Is I was like, yeah, let's share something because like I love to see this in play. And what they're hoping to show is kind of like a basic MVP to kind of see what it's all about, knowing that all of the utility add with the NFTs is going to be later on in future phases. We're talking like about a month and a half from now. But expect something today, at least in the sense of like an MVP to kind of look at.
Okay, that's great. All right. Well, then I think I'm out of questions for the project. My wonderful Haven, let me check your comments. We'll start with some text ones. Don't get all excited yet. And we'll then jump to the VC. All right, let's see. Who are we starting with? We're going to start with now. Adam, you know the drill. It could be a bit of a repeat. So let's just go through these guys. So the website says the NFT can be used in P2E games that you make. Does the NFT have any advantages in their games? Or when the P2E game later comes out, does the strength of vehicles change based on the NFTs? That's from Mario.
Yes. Okay, come on. Mario? Really? Bro, I'm about to reference Mario Kart. Stop.
No, it's Aria. Aria
perfectly. Oh, Aria. I'm sorry. I'm just going to pretend it was Mario for a second, but sorry, Aria. So, much like Mario, which is not this user's name, Mario Kart, if you remember, like there's Bowser, there's Toad. I like to use this example. Bowser's kind of like heavier. He's more tanky, and he's a little bit slower, but no one's like moving him off the track, right? Whereas Toad, super lightweight, agile, not unlike me. I'm more like Bowser, I guess you could say. But anyways, Toad's very lightweight, so he can be pushed around a little bit more, right? Whereas Bowser, if he bumps into Toad, he's going to push him. So it's kind of the same idea, but taken to Metacars. So there's going to be some cars that are heavier, some cars that are lighter, some cars that are less prone to stun attacks, different things like that. There's going to be influences. There's some that can handle turns better, different things like that. Some that can accelerate a little faster. It's going to be a slight edge, and more of those advantages can be potentially stacked versus just one of them being there. Maybe with a legendary, there's multiple areas that can be improved, but there's still the element of surprise in the sense that there can always be a weapon that you pick up that's badass, right? You pick up a rocket, you're instantly taking out the guy in front of you, he spins in the air, and now you've taken his spot. Someone could hit you with a rocket easily, and it'll happen all day. Someone could hit you with one, and they have a basic car, and you have a legendary, and they can still win the race. So to answer that user's question, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that, yeah, you can get a car that's going to help you, but it's not going to guarantee a win. So they will help, and it is going to be based on the NFTs. You're also going to be able to customize those NFTs within the game. So you're going to get a custom title, a custom like kind of like color to your name to kind of distinguish yourself from the rest outside of the car looking different. And you're also going to be able to add custom stickers to your car as well. Now, those stickers are wallet based. They're not associated with the NFT. That's the cool thing. So they're wallet based. They're not associated with the NFT. Here's another thing is you can lease out your car. I just made up this term because we're talking about cars. You can lease out your car if you want and create a micro economy. And what you could do is you could say, look, I'm going to go hang out with family. I don't have time to race this week, or I don't want to, but I have a legendary. I got lucky. I got a legendary. Hey, you're kind of interested in this game, but you don't maybe have enough money to buy a legendary at the mint price it's at right now or at the sale price it's going for. So let me rent you out mine, put down some collateral. I'll hold that in case you don't give me my NFT back. And now I can lend out my NFT for you. You can race with that legendary NFT, send it back to me, and then maybe I get a cut of your profit. There's so many cool things that you can do, and the game is totally open to it. So there's no limitations there. The only limitation, it's not really one because it's aesthetics, is the custom stickers you get from certain events, from placing first place, different stickers that they generate in later stage. Those stickers are going to be only for your account and non-transferable, but the NFTs are fully transferable.
Okay, that's kind of cool, and
kind of fun, right?
For the question there. Happy to see you around here. Okay, Michelle, I think they went over pretty thoroughly as far as the copyright's concerned. The answer was they just plan on being able to move away from those images and things if need be. I was very happy you mentioned that because that's always a concern. Okay, let's go to passion. Can other players compete with one another and gain rewards for the loser? Will there be a leaderboard among players?
Oh, very much so. In fact, I'll go back in the white paper. Definitely something to check out because you can see a sample of the first tourney that's going to happen. So first place getting 500, second 300, third place 200. That's a lot of money for first, second, third. All the way down to 10th place. 10th place will still get you $15, which is pretty awesome. So there's going to be a lot of potential to win every single week. Even if you don't get first, you can still win quite a bit. On top of that, they're going to have kind of like a price floor that raises every single week. So it's not just going to be, $500. It'll be, $550 next week, and so on and so on. It'll keep going up. Sorry, I got lost track there. I think it was the question on leaderboards. It is going to be visible. Those are going to be posted to the blockchain. Raising floor of rewards. Was there something I was missing there? I feel like there was.
Adam, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Just the last 10 seconds there got cut off.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
All right. You're good. You're good. It's still on the recording and everything. I just, my internet had a little bit of a lapse there.
Oh, no, dude.
Okay.
I was actually asking, besides the leaderboard, was there another part to that question? Because I wasn't sure if I was missing something.
There are, that one that covers the first part, but there are actually two more part of this question. So the next part is, how are you going to prevent other players from finding loopholes in the game to have faster win rates? I didn't even know this was a thing in the P2E world, but I guess botting and doing along those lines are a huge issue.
Yeah, it is. And that's part of making the game fun and enjoyable and wanting to return back to it. What I can say is just being upfront. Any P2E game that's creating things from the ground up, which these guys are, there is no anti-cheat mechanism that they can just throw in. It's not possible. So they really have to create their own everything when it comes to making sure that things are legit, making sure that you can't, glitch the system and get first place without even racing or something crazy like that. There's so much that goes into it when money's involved. So what I can say is once they get to the later phases, they are actually looking to bring on more people because they're going to need quite a few people to make sure that they're validating, to look at patches, to make sure that they can do patches in the first place and not break the game. So there's a lot of things like that. Expect that it's going to be done in phases. So eventually they want the races to be part of an open world experience. So I think a lot of us here might have played Need for Speed Underground, which is the coolest game when I was young. I say that like I'm 60 or something, but anyways, so that was an open world game where you're racing a car, right? And you could go around a city, have fun, whatever. But then you can enter portals and you can actually go into races. You go to the start of the the line, and then you enter an actual race where you're racing around the city. It's going to eventually be like that, where it's an open world, you're driving around with your car, and then you can go to race starts and then be able to initiate these races and actually get into them if they're available. So that's the cool thing, is that eventually we're going to get to that, but for the time being, it's just going to be races. It's going to be you click in, you connect your wallet, click in, get into the race you want, and now you're into that tournament for the week. So there's a lot of development from here to there, but expect all of that development to be shown. So again, there's going to be maybe even a playable demo today. I know at the very least a demo, but they might even make it playable, which would be really cool, and especially right after pre-sale. So expect that to help catch a lot of those bugs because they're doing it in phases. They're not launching everything. They're saying, let's do it in phases. Let's do it map by map and make sure that things aren't exploitable. And once they're good, make sure that we revisit them. We don't just launch it, forget about it, and go on to something else. Just like a good game developer, which DocFix is very versed in game development, you have to make a game that's fair, so equitable, fun to play, and is also secure. And that's the big focus that they want to have with these.
Sounds great. All right, let's see what else we have here. Are there any partners outside of the space that are committed to crypto? I'm sorry, outside of the crypto space that are committed to this project?
None yet. Just to be quite honest, none yet. Part of the reason, as I think everyone here can imagine, is when you're affiliated with it, when you're not affiliated with a Disney IP, but you're using their iconography in V1 in this short V1 period, probably not a good idea to partner just yet. When they go to their V2, which is going to be very shortly here in a month, even maybe slightly less, depending upon how development goes for the game, how quickly they're able to push everything out. Should be pretty quick here. They're going to have enough content and quality images to be able to pull for their website and really rebrand, which actually isn't going to be too hard because they already have their central brand. They just need to rework the other stuff. Rework the brand and have it be just their content, and then the partnership doors are open because nobody can own Metacars except for them. Like, it's not trademarked by anybody else, basically. Their NFTs are custom. They're originated by them, and they have a unique idea that they have gameplay for and that is able to be played. So nothing yet. I'm sure once they do make partnerships, they're going to shout that from the rooftops. But as of now, no. And in its current incantation, not really feasible. But in V2, very much so. That's going to be a focus after things are developed out more.
Sounds good. All right. Let me get one more text question here, and then we're going to jump to you guys in the VC. I see a few of you are DMing me that you want to ask. Okay. Great question. Elo. I'm going to do one of yours here, buddy. Regarding the manual buyback feature, the Guido, does it lead to a locked wallet or burning?
Ooh, good question. Yes, that's a very good question. It is a buyback and burn. So I should have mentioned that, but it is a buyback, and then those tokens are sent to a burn address. Just like right after launch, that 30% is being burned. It's being burned forever, being sent to a zero address and burned. This is going to be done the same way. So it'll be bought back, and then it'll be actually pinned in post where it gets sent so everyone can check as well, because it's not enough to say it. You got to see it. Just like the game development, I want to see it. I want to test it. I want to have fun with it. Same thing with the with that burn amount. It's going to be bought back and then burned.
All right, guys, now is your chance in VC. We are just going to be as polite as we can with each other. So first person to ask a question can go.
Can I go?
Who's that? I'm sorry, the things are not leading up. I heard the female voice first.
Sam, that's Sam.
Oh, Sam, it's you. Hey, buddy, go ahead.
Hi. So I have. Oh my God, I just lost my question. One moment, I'm rolling back up. Okay. Hi guys. My first question is, what is the advantage again of buying the NFTs to play in the game instead of compared to just buying the token to play in the game? Is there card features that we get better from buying the NFTs or things like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say currently through probably Q2 to 3 in development, which isn't exactly like the quarters of the year, but more so like in about a month or a month and a half. I would say until then, it's much more advantageous to focus on the token because the NFTs aren't really going to be launched just yet. They might launch maybe, I don't know, maybe a few to test out and make sure everything works well and to see how it's received. But to be honest, I would focus mainly on the token itself because then you're going to be able to take that token, especially if you buy it at a discount now or if you wait to get it later, whatever your strategy is that works best for you, you're going to be able to hopefully see some token appreciation especially once they launch a demo of this actually working. So that way people can, believe a little bit more and understand where their investment's going. And then from there, you're going to be able to convert those tokens, if you'd like, and buy NFTs. So you can buy it with, ETH, or you could buy it with the actual tokens. It's up to you. But you're going to be able to also buy them at a discount if you buy the tokens early. So there's multiple ways to play it, right? You could sell your tokens at a profit. You could buy the tokens, hold, also sell for a little bit of a profit, but then also buy NFTs that can earn you money every week potentially if you win, if you're in like the top 10. There's a lot of different ways you can basically run it. It's really up to you. But as just a suggestion, I would probably say maybe look at the token first, and then look at the NFTs, because the NFTs are going to have a lot more utility later once they're actually integrated in with the game.
Sorry, I feel like I don't feel like my question was understood. Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, no, it's fine. My question was, I understand that the NFTs are coming later. However, once I buy the token, and let's assume the NFTs are there 2 months down the line, just an example. What will be the advantage for me buying the cars in the game with the NFTs compared to me buying the cars in the game from the token? Like, are the cars different? Do you understand what I mean?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. Well, you can't buy the cars in the game just using the token. You have to buy the NFTs to be able to get those custom cars. You can play the game. This might be a better answer. You can play the game with just owning the tokens and buying in, but you're only going to be able to buy in with $50 worth and get one car per account, because all the cars are going to be the same. It's just going to be a stock, like generic car that has no traits. It's just going to be a very basic car. You can still win a race with it, but it's going to be a little harder. Whereas if you buy a custom NFT using the token or buying it with ETH, you're going to be able to use that NFT car in the game, and it's going to have special features. So hopefully that kind of answers your question. Like, if you buy just with the token and just get your entry in, it's just getting you a generic car. It's not getting you anything that's actually going to help you, especially. But if you're buying a car outside of the game to use in the game, if you're buying an NFT, that is going to have an advantage in the game.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Am I allowed to ask more questions?
No, Sam, I'm sorry, buddy. We got 2 more after you, so we're gonna go Ojo and then Black Adam.
Okay.
Sam, that was great, though.
She's always got the fire ones. Ojo, do you want to take your question now? Okay, Black Adam, go ahead, buddy.
Okay, thank you so much, Achilles. Actually, I read about a vehicular combat in the game. So I want to know, when our car gets damaged, then can we just increase its health in the game to survive for longer? And if we customize the car, will it stay with it even after we sell it to other players?
That's a great question. Yeah, so there's going to be like repair kits throughout the actual map, along with those weapon power-ups, so you'll be able to repair your car and have it be back at its like peak speed and performance. But even if it gets damaged, you can always, get those repair kits that are randomly thrown. But one of the traits, to my understanding too, is going to be health. So you're able to actually get something that's a little tankier, for lack of a better term, right? That's a little bit more resistant to attacks, so that way you don't have to be slowed down if something were to happen. Now, as far as those traits, right, those upgrades, there is no upgrades outside of the NFTs. So once your NFT has its traits, those are the traits it has. You can level up and build prestige, but that level up isn't going to give you more advantage, at least right now. They might incorporate it later, but that's not the focus right now. The whole focus is, if you want a little bit more of an advantage in the game, you have to buy the NFTs. So that's the cool thing, is they're building a lot of utility for those NFTs and having them cross-link as strong as possible. Because then what happens is, you'll just get someone who pays $50 in to get the base car, and then uses a bot account to farm the car and like create some sort of algorithm maybe that goes undetected for a little bit or who knows, and levels up, and it's this like supercar that they paid nothing for, and now they're just winning every race, and it's the same person winning every week. So those are the things that, like, by having custom NFTs that are instead given the advantage, the barrier of entry is a lot higher. So even if someone was to go out and buy a bunch of NFT cars, well, the floor price is going to go up like crazy. So anyone that got in is going to be able to get like a cheaper car that's appreciated in value. And the team's also going to be looking for trends where someone's exploiting systems or doing something like that, and they're going to catch that very fast and then potentially blacklist that wallet if that person doesn't, change behavior. So that's one of those things that this team has that manual ability to do that. They don't want to because, of course, it's not good for community sentiment if it's done a bunch. But when you need to, sometimes you have to take out bad actors and ensure that it doesn't ruin the entire experience for everyone. So that's one of those things where when you don't have an anti-cheat mechanic baked in, which is impossible to do for something like this because nothing exists yet. This is a very nascent space. You have to develop your own. You instead have to be very vigilant and then create your own tools to be able to catch these things and address them quickly. So anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent off your question, but to answer your question, no, it's not transferable. The only thing there's no extra benefits that you can put on your car after. The only thing you can put after once you own the NFT is aesthetics. You can put in stickers, customize it a little bit outside of the already like custom NFT you have. But those are non-transferable. But you can transfer your NFT to anyone you like, and they can use it for future races and then send it back to you, and then you can use it, which is a pretty nice little mechanic.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question, buddy. Guys, we have time for one more quick one. Shimba, take it away, my man.
Yeah.
I want to speak.
I'm sorry, Mediocre. This chance, Shimba's going to take this one, buddy.
Yeah, after this Sam question,
I
I just think it is worthy to ask. She saw that in the white paper that there are only 20 people can play at a time, given the amount of cars. I don't know if did she ask this one. What will be the way to ensure that it's not only the same person who will get to play over and over every time? Because there's only 20 people.
That's a good question. The big thing is varying the amount of start times. So there's not going to be the same start time every single week. That wouldn't make sense. You have one in the early morning, you have one in the evening, you have one in the middle of the night for different time zones. You separate it like that to make it more equitable. Will there be someone that sets a timer either way to get in? Of course, but it lessens the chance. Whereas if it's at one time zone, someone knows, even if I need to wake up and click enter race at the exact time, the likelihood of them always getting in is much, much lower. So this makes it fair. As they develop, they'll be able to even put in extra mechanics to maybe mix it up where like you can get into a queue. Like if you hit like, hey, I'm interested, you'll be put into a queue, and then from the queue will be randomly selected 20 people. So they could do something like that, but just to be realistic, they don't want to promise you the moon and then not be able to get there. Those things will be added later, but right now it's just going to be in the sense of starting at different times to address different time zones to help.
That's cool. Thank you so much, Adam, and happy to have you here.
Cheers.
We're
nice to see you again.
Happy to have Adam in the Haven. All right, Adam, if you got any other closing comments, now is the time, my man. I'm going to end the recording in just a minute.
All right. Well, just a final wrap up. As always, I like to say this. Just thank you, Safe Haven community. Thank you, Achilles. You guys are always really warm and welcoming and inviting. And, that's for a reason, not because the questions are easy. They're actually some of the harder ones I get, but I love it. I love it because it shows you guys are interested. You want to understand. You want to see if this is a good investment. I leave that to you, always DYOR. But if any of this sounded interesting, check out the official Telegram for Metacars. Don't go to any fake ones. There's always fake ones. Go to the one that Achilles nicely pinned. With that being said, we did speak about there's a pre-sale right now, and it is happening in a few hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes. This is an Ethereum-based pre-sale. So check this out. Minimum, again, is 0.025 ETH. Maximum is 3. You get your tokens right after, and all that is needed is that soft cap of 100 ETH, then things are ready to go and off to the races. And with that, I wanted to say thank you, and hope to see you all soon.
Thank you so much for being here, man, as always. Feel free to shoot me any updates about the project. I will definitely be watching. All right, I'm going to stop the
definitely
recording.